Let's get this shit
Let's
on and popping,
crack
girl.
this thing. It hurts, no?
Girl, if I could do it with my 2 fingers.
Oh, we ain't playing that game. Oh, that's my neighbor.
Okay, to loosen up the nerves.
Well, since your car's already dirty.
Cheers.
So good, right?
Alcohol is strong for me these days.
She said, why is your car talking? What is going on?
Talking is fucking crying.
It's okay, honey. I'm trying to convince her to sell you to me. No, for real, it's like... Why am I drunk? Are you? No. I think I'm drunk already.
Hey guys, what's up?
Hey girl, hey.
We are super excited, you guys. This is actually going to be the first series, the first episode to our series. We actually are starting something super new and I'm so excited for it. Sis, you want to explain what we're doing?
So we are doing like a cute little girl talk. We're having all the vibes. On 1 week, it will be her channel, different topics, of course. And then on the following week will be my channel. We're basically just switching off both. So that way her channel gets some love, my channel gets some love, and yeah, so we're gonna be filming every week. Yes. Once we do get a schedule, we'll definitely let you guys know, but this is gonna be a weekly video, so stay tuned because we have a lot of good things to talk about. I feel like me and my sister always have really good conversations and we're always just vibing, girl. Like, we don't even have to be doing anything. Like, we always have something to talk about, so I thought it'd be pretty cool to like bring you guys along with us and just be a little bit more open, more real and raw, a little more juicy, girl. Are you shaking? Oh, I was just making sure. I don't know if I had anxiety or something. What are you talking about?
What's the tea? Okay, so for those of you guys who don't know, I am 2 years older. So I'm 25 and she's about to be 23.
She's old. I'm young.
Girl, stop playing with me. But we are only 2 years apart, so we've always been super freaking close. And I feel like now that we're adults, and we're out of like the growing
fighting
up
stage.
Yeah. We have a really close relationship and super strong bond. And it's really...
Do you want to kiss me?
Stop it right now. No, give me one more and I will. No, but I think it's really cool because now that we're older, we obviously are growing and living life together. Like, she just bought a house, I have kids, and we've literally been through like so freaking much together. So it's just really exciting to be a part of each other's journey in a healthy way, of course, because it hasn't always been like this, girl.
Yeah, I feel like there was like a really big rough patch. Not even between me and her, but like while my sister was pregnant, she did have a really rough pregnancy. When she was pregnant with her first 2 boys, she had like a beautiful pregnancy, beautiful glow to her. Like, you could see the happiness radiate off her body. But with baby girl Leia, it was not like that, girl. Like, you would... Don't take offense to anything I say, okay?
Girl, okay, so we're just gonna put this out there. We are very open and blunt with each other. If we're like, oh, you are a bitch, we don't take that to heart. We know our boundaries within our relationship. So she can definitely call me out on my shit and I can do the same for her. No hard feelings, but we're just gonna get real personal and talk about how it was living together. Before we get into the story time of like pretty much how it was and just little bits and pieces of everything, we do want to mention how my sister was pretty much on her healing journey like a whole ass year before I was. So yeah, so it began like kind of right when I moved with my dad. I feel like I was just going through a lot, like mentally and like health wise. So it made me just view life different. My best friend Kate, was on this whole like journey way before I even was, and I even knew what it was. Like, when she would say these words and talk about like her vibration, her frequency, like everything, I'd be like, what is she talking about? Like, I want to get to that level, but how? Like, but let me tell you, one thing that I didn't realize it until I did it myself is like, you can't want to be somewhere. It kind of has to like find you. You can't like explain to someone like, oh, this is how you heal, this is how you do this is how you do that. Like, it just really comes to you. So when I started to feel
When I started to view life very differently, I just was not dealing with no bullshit. Like, no matter who it was, no matter if you were like my sister, my dad, like absolutely anybody. That's why when the whole thing happened with my dad, I was like, okay, if you want to move that way and if you feel like that, then love you from afar, perfectly fine. I had no issue with it. And then when I moved with my sister, obviously she has been through hell and back her whole entire life, not even through her health, her relationships, you name it, girl. And I feel like she's been through it. So I feel like the whole time she's going through these things, yes, she's healing on the outside, but it's all internally. Like, everything that she was going through, like, was holding on and just digging deeper and deeper and deeper. And then with another thing would happen and she'd be like, oh, I'm okay. But like, honestly, you really don't know, like, if you're okay until you realize, like,
till you reach your breaking point.
Yeah. Okay, so while after I moved in July, she was pregnant. She found out she was pregnant early September. Oh my God, gassy.
September 1st, I found out I was pregnant.
Yeah, so September 1st, she found out she was pregnant. And obviously, my sister has always wanted a baby girl. After she met Eli, 110%, she was like, no, I'm having my baby girl. If I get pregnant, it's going to be a girl. She manifested Alea, if y'all didn't know. But after she got pregnant, she had a really, really, really rough pregnancy, just with her health and overall just like her mood change.
Girl, it was crazy.
It was like night and day. Like, you would come out and everybody would be like, okay, like, be quiet, like, don't even. And before she was pregnant, obviously her not being healed, she had a very like quick temper. Like, short fuse. If anybody were to say something to her, like, if she felt like someone was coming for her in any type of way, it would be like, nope, shut down.
I'm gonna take full accountability. Like, that's literally how I lived my life. I've always grew up with a short fuse, and I always just snapped back and always said what was on my mind. Even if it wasn't the right way to do it, that's all I knew, and that's how I was, like, literally from my childhood up until this point. Yeah. It wasn't until, obviously, I met my husband, and he communicates so good. He's a very gentle, like, very calm person. Even my sister can, like, vouch for me. Yeah. Like, he is the most, like, relaxed person. Nothing really gets him mad, so
it's like the perfect balance between them two. Like, you can't be like two hotheads, or like, you can be two people, or if you like the hothead toxic stuff, like, that's on you.
It's just not.
But it's just not like that over here. Like, she's very like, well, she was very like short fuse, and he was very like, oh, flowers, daisies, like, very calm and stuff. So it was literally like perfect, like literally soulmates.
So when people say like the hardest relationship to be in is a healthy one after you've only been in toxic relationships, that is 110% what I live by, because it was so hard in the beginning, learning how to communicate, express how I feel, just being a good person, a good partner. And it wasn't until after I had baby girl that I had to like learn to be that, just because I was always a certain way my whole life. So even my whole pregnancy, when my sister lived with me, I was always moody, and I didn't know why. Like, I would literally cry myself to sleep sometimes because I didn't want to feel angry. I didn't want to feel mad or cry. And obviously it was the hormones, but being how I was before, plus being pregnant, just amplified all of that in like a really unhealthy way. And I just want to like thank you and obviously my husband for literally being the best. You guys literally like helped me so freaking much.
But I do feel like we knew that. Like, I feel like we both knew that, like, you weren't trying to be like a mean person. It was just like, it was happening to you. You didn't know why it was happening. Like, and I know, like, we both seen the progress from like after you had baby girl. But while she was pregnant, it was just like little things. Obviously she had so many hormones, and it was like baby girl hormones that she never experienced in her life.
Like, it's, sorry to cut you off, but it was to the point, you guys, where I didn't even want to smell my husband. Like, just his scent would like make me sick. Like, I just didn't want to be in his presence. And then even like when my sisters would try to hang out,
she wouldn't even want to be around me. But like, since I lived with her, I was like, no, you're not gonna be like that. You're not gonna stay in your room. Like, I would literally force her, because I was thinking in my head, like, me being pregnant, if I'm mad, okay, bitch, I'm pregnant. Like, you guys are gonna have to deal with it and like make me feel better type of thing. So I always had the thought in my head, like, if no matter if she wants to be alone, she's just saying that. Like, it was like her mind was thinking one thing, but like her mouth was saying another.
You guys, I was so like so depressed. Like, I was always in my room. I never wanted to get out. Like, there was a time where I didn't cook for a while. Like, I just didn't want to get up and clean. I was obviously working from home, so I was doing that. But even just to do like that and the bare minimum was just so freaking much for me. And it was to the point where I never wanted to leave my room. Like, my sister would have to barge in. It was like noon or 2 in the afternoon, and she would just come in my room. And at first, she can even tell, like, I was annoyed or I wouldn't want her in there. But after being in her presence, or like just having somebody there that cares, it just like, I don't know. It's hard to explain unless you go through it, because I never knew that I would feel like this, because like she said, with the boys, I was so happy. I was freaking night and day. But with baby girl, it was just a different feeling. It was really freaking hard, like super beyond hard.
I feel like after she had Alea, like, it was like the missing piece to her life that, like, she didn't even know she needed, type of thing. Like, you see it? Bro, I hate when bugs think that they fucking need to be somewhere and they don't.
But remember what happened when I got home that day from the hospital?
You were smiling?
Yeah, I was smiling for the first time.
Yeah, like, I swear to God, like, even at the hospital, like, after she pushed the baby out, because obviously me and Eli were in the room, my mom was in the room, but after she pushed the baby out, it was like she was letting out all that mean and negative and, like, horrible energy that, like, please let it out, girl, because
it was the craziest thing ever, because I know crazy. I felt like I was on a high, like I was so freaking happy, and it was just a feeling that I couldn't describe, and I was just so happy to feel that happiness again and feel good again. And the day that I came home, I remember my sister was cooking for me and my husband, obviously because I just had baby girl.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh my God, like, I'm finally seeing you smile. Like, it's so weird. She's like, but because I can see it on your face.
When I moved in with her, she got pregnant 2 months later. So, like, me living with her, I just lived with, like, a mean, like, snappy, like, pregnant girl that, like, I just dealt with.
But you know what, though? I was never, like, mean to you.
No, never, which was the weirdest thing, bro, because she would, like, talk to me and, like, rant about, like, Eli, her aunt. Like, she'll say something like, oh, like, just, like, weird shit. Anything that would, like, okay.
Anything. It could be the smallest little thing.
The smallest. But, like, she would say it and I'd be like, yeah, like, what the heck? And, like, try to make her feel better. But she was never intentionally mean to me, like, at all.
Not one time was I mean to her. I don't think we ever argued during my pregnancy. I was never mean to her.
No,
like, never.
Like, ever. When she got home, it was, like, night and day. Even Aunt was like, oh, my God, like, she's, like, happy and smiling. Because there was a time, like, while you were pregnant that you didn't snap at him, like, directly. But it was, like, him and Eli, like, but, like, more Eli vibes.
It was mainly because, like, of dumb stuff around the house. But since it wasn't getting done.
It was, like, her driveway was, like,
oil stains, and, like, the weeds.
But it was stuff that needed to get done. But they just weren't, like, taking it as serious as, like, it needed to be taken care of.
Because we live in, like, a HOA community, and they were, like, obviously, they would send everything to me, because, you know, we lived there, and everything was sent to me. I would get the calls,
stress her out.
And it would stress me out so bad, so I was like, oh, my God, and I think, like, a month or two passed, 2 months, right?
Yeah.
2 months passed of me getting those emails, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, there's 2 guys in here, and I think I just went off that day, but it was nothing personal ever. It was more like just my frustration.
And I think, again, like, we knew that just because, like, you're pregnant, and I felt like pregnant girls, I've never been pregnant before, by the way, don't have any kids, but I've never felt those hormones, so I feel like me and Aunt are very understanding people when it comes to that stuff, because we don't know what you're feeling. We don't know, like,
I didn't even know what I was feeling, girl.
Yeah. But after she had baby girl, it was really good. Like, everything was just so much better. I felt like it was, like, the missing piece in our whole lives. Like, even mine and aunts, like, Cynthia and Edders, like, my mom. Like, I feel like baby girl just brought a lot of happiness and light to all of us. I don't know what it was. It's just a big energy shift when, like, a new baby comes to, like, our lives. And, like, she just changed all of our lives.
Especially because she was planned and, like, manifested that we, like, made her with so much love that when she came into this world, she literally was nothing but, like, love. Everybody loves her. Everybody, like, she loves everybody. And it's just really a really good feeling to know that, like, obviously all the kids are loved, all of my sister's kids, and all the rest of my kids. But when baby girl came, it was just a different feeling. And I was just so happy to finally be done with my pregnancy and start obviously taking care of myself. But you guys, like my sister mentioned before, I never would feel my feelings, I would kind of just throw them in the back and be like, oh, I'm fine, it's okay, like, I'm good.
And this was her whole life. Like, she's done this her whole life. She's never, like, been the one to talk to us about anything, come to us about anything. She was like, no, like, she's strong, she has it, but, like, deep down, when you always hold these emotions, like, they're gonna pile up one day, and you're gonna have your breaking point.
And I love to say this, it makes me so happy, but I really, really am so happy to say that even though I went through all that, and it was super hard, I'm sure not only for me, but, like, the people around me, I'm so, so, so beyond happy to be able to be in a place in my life where I'm okay with feeling vulnerable. I love crying. Like, I love feeling emotional. When I have a hard day, I cry to my husband now. I cry to her. Like, I express how I feel 110% now. And I don't know if it was because I had my daughter or what it was, but if you knew me even a year ago, you don't know me now, girl. Because the way that I am able to communicate and talk about my feelings is, like, crazy.
Round 2.
Oh, sorry. No, you're right.
No, I thought you were right. I'm not going to throw that one. And after the video, I'm going to pick that one back
Girl,
up.
my car is so disgusting.
Okay, like, I know it's dirty, but it's not a trash can. You can't do that.
Well, it's because I couldn't catch it. I was holding this and, like, this.
But you already cut it. Your jeans are already wet from it. So, like,
They are.
You're not going anywhere.
I just don't like to wash my clothes. Do you wash your jeans every time you
I don't wear jeans, baby girl.
Oh. Cheers. Okay, so the main reason why we wanted to go into detail about my pregnancy and how it was is because it plays a huge part in, like, our relationship and my life now. Around the time I wasn't vlogging or I didn't post videos or anything, so I didn't bring you guys along that journey. Girl, I didn't even want to. I was in my bed all the time, so depressed. But now it's really good to talk about because that was, like, such a hard time in my life, and to look back and know that, like, we passed it makes me feel so good. So, like, my sister did mention, obviously, if you start your healing journey,
I'm just kidding.
There comes a point, you guys, where you just get to rock bottom. You just get to a point where you are tired, that you want change in your life. And this is where we're going to talk about kind of what happened for me to get to that point, obviously, for my whole life.
Your voice cracking.
Oh my God, stop. For me to get to that point, to completely change my life and, like, who I was as a person to be where I'm at now.
So how it all started was, like, obviously when she had baby girl, I think me and At living with her, like, we've always tried to make their lives easier with anything that we did. Like, I wanted to help her as much as I could while I was there because I knew that I was only there temporarily. It was never something where, like, I moved in and I knew I was going to be there. Like, I didn't even know when I moved in I was going to be there for that long. Like, I thought I was going to be there for a couple weeks, and obviously it doubled and tripled and quadrupled and, you know. But there's this one particular night where me and my sister wanted to get our family together, and we were going to have a game night. And after we had like ordered food, we had, like, got cute games and stuff, and I think at this point she was having not horrible postpartum, but at the point where she was, baby girl was going through
postpartum?
No, she was
3.
like
3 months.
Yeah. Baby girl was going through, like, a sleep regression, or she just was, like, obviously Alea was growing, so she wasn't, like, the baby who would, like, sleep all day and, like, do all of that, like, as she was when she was a newborn.
And mind you, so sorry to cut you off, but mind you, you guys, obviously I still have, like, the whole house to take care of. I was working full-time at this point at home.
4 other kids.
So working at home in general is not as easy as you think. Like, it's pretty much having to take all 5 kids with you to work. So I just had a lot on my plate, and
she was, like, past overstimulated a point. Like, it was, like, this was the line, and she was to the mountain. Like, it was super, super bad. And, like, obviously, when you're, like, a sister living with another sister, yes, you want to help as much as you can, but obviously you can't do beyond your means type of thing. So I feel like she was just, like, completely too much going on with her in her life, like, whatever. And keep in mind, at this point, at this point, she still has not even healed from everything she's been through in her past, right? So when you haven't healed yourself, you're still gonna tend to bring up those toxic traits and like toxic actions because you don't know better. It's not like you don't want to be that person. It's like
it's all you know.
It's all you know, so that's what you're gonna do.
And until you like learn to relearn everything, literally from the ground up, relearn how to talk, relearn how to even think, like you have to relearn your whole life in like a healthier way, and a way that you actually are proud of living, you know, instead of, you know, the only thing that you know.
But that night, I think she was like already going through it, like within everything that she had going on at her time.
So I remember that night my cousin was over and I was talking to her. Obviously, me and her are very close and we had daughters very close in age. They're literally like 4 weeks apart. And we were just talking about postpartum. Postpartum is not easy, you guys. But one thing I do want to say is learn how to manage your emotions. Learn how to talk about how you feel. Just learn how to speak, whether it's the smallest little thing and you think it's so stupid. Learn how to express that, because holding it in, no matter how much we want to be super moms and be this certain person, sometimes if we're going through like postpartum or, you know, really hard times in our life, it's okay to talk about it. And I think that's what me and my cousin were doing. I just started crying a little bit. And then, like, my older sister kind of looked at me and was like, it's okay, like, don't cry right now. I don't think she meant it in, like, any harm, like, in a bad way.
Which I don't think she did at all. But if you're already having, like, heavy heart and, like, your mental health isn't already good, when someone tells you not to cry when you're finally trying to let something out, it's, like, anger builds. And I feel like it was, like, what the hell? Like, I don't talk about my emotions. And, like, now that I'm finally trying to let them out to someone who's, like, actually asking me and who cares, like, I think it kind of threw her off for, like, a loop, because it was like, why? Like, I'm finally trying to let this shit out and, like, someone's telling me to not do that, you know?
Yeah.
So, go ahead.
No, you.
So, after that point, we kind of, like, tried to let the night, like, just roll and, like, played games and have fun and stuff. But can I say that you and Eli were, like, having a bad night? Or no? If you don't want to.
Yeah.
Are you sure? Mm-hmm. But during like the games and stuff, her and Eli were like having like a rocky night. They were just like making jabs at each other. You know when you're in a relationship and your man pisses you off, but then you gotta act like okay in front of people.
It's that marriage shit. And I do want to mention, we are far from perfect. We will never portray ourselves as being like a perfect couple, because we are far from that. We've grown a lot to be where we're at today, and I'm so beyond thankful to like live my life how I do now, you know, because it wasn't always like this. But yeah, girl, that night was one of those nights where you just look at your husband and you want to punch him
in the throat 4 times. But the night went on and it was time, like the games were done, everybody was tired. I had made like a small joke to my sister.
To me.
Yeah, I had made a small joke to her and told her that something was cringe.
I remember what it was. It was over something so stupid. And you guys, if you're not healed, if you're not right in the fucking head, this will happen. So make sure you're right in the head, because it was over something so dumb. Like, if we do that shit to each other now.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but also keep in mind, like, I've always been a jokester. Like, no matter what, like, I'm gonna fucking make a joke out of something. Absolutely anything. Like,
and that's always been our relationship.
That's always been our relationship, right? And then too, like with anybody else, like if I say a joke, like I think people just know when it comes from me, it's no fucking hard feelings, because I just joke about shit.
But shut up and laugh about it. But that night I didn't want to shut up and laugh about it.
But that night she was just like, no, like,
I was like, what's cringy?
Yeah.
And she was like, oh my god, nothing. Like, it was a joke. Genuinely, it was a joke.
Yeah. Like, genuinely. God. Even when she reacted that night, I was like, what the fuck? Like, I kind of got like scared in a way, because one, I live with her. We have nowhere else to go at that point too. And then 3, it was like, I've never seen that side of her with me. Like, I've seen her go through stuff with other people, which normal human shit, but she's never talked to me like that in any type of way. So like, when I told her, I was like, oh, it's just a joke. And she's like, what's funny? Like, dead ass, what the fuck is funny? Hey, do you see those people? Are you remembering what?
Dude, I love you. Wait, is it good? Did it get darker?
Yeah, I did.
It's okay. If it got darker, it's fine.
Okay.
But dude, I love you so much. I can't believe we went through that. It's like so funny to laugh about
But
now.
it really had to happen, because I don't think we would have had the relationship that we had now,
like, stronger.
if you weren't to have changed. Okay, we're going too far.
Okay, yeah.
But she was like, basically like, what the fuck is funny? Like, to me, those are like fighting words. Like,
I got defensive.
I got really defensive because I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, it's a joke.
Why are you taking it that serious?
Exactly. Like, I joke around with you like all the time. But I feel like everything that led up to that point, she was like, no. The next time someone were to like have said something to her, it was like the last straw. And
I can't believe it was you, dude. Like, out of everybody.
Okay. No,
it's fine.
No, but I get what you're saying. But after that, it like just went downhill because I kept emphasizing like, hey girl, like it was a jokey joke. And everybody, I felt like was worse too because everybody knew that it was such a lighthearted, like, oh, that's cringe. And backstory, she was just mixing wings together that were 2 different flavors. But she was...
yeah.
Like, she was putting, like, lemon pepper with hot, and I was like, oh, that's cringe. And then she was like...
But I was in a bad mood, you guys.
Bad mood already. But, like, me being the person I am, I'm like, oh, like, let me make a joke. Yeah, like, trying to make everybody laugh.
Like, I was yelling at my sister. Like, I've never yelled at her. I've never, like, raised my voice. Like, we don't even argue. And if we do, we're like, oh, she's annoying. Like, we'll get over it within a couple minutes.
I was really thinking, like... Did that just really fucking happen? And, like, I'm in shock at that point, like, trying to figure out, like, are we even going to speak again? Like, what is going to happen to our relationship?
In my head, you guys, I was like, fuck this. I'm not talking to her ever again. But I was in the wrong. And once, like, the next day... And I feel like
you still had, at that point, you still had a very toxic mindset. Because you I don't think you started to grow until that happened. But, like... Until you realize, like, you fucked up.
I fucked up.
Yeah. And until she realized, like, at that point, because I'm the type of person where, like, if I'm not doing anything wrong, then why do I have to go to you and apologize?
That's what I want to mention. So that night, I was still on that shit where I was like, well, you fucking were rude to me. But really, like, come on. I'm the one who overreacted. I'm the one who disrespected her and made her feel like a way that should have never happened. And I took full accountability, you guys. From that moment, I cried to my husband for days. Like, we didn't talk.
Wait, hold on. Yeah, I was just gonna say we didn't. Okay, so this happened on a Saturday, and
Sunday was so weird, huh?
I wasn't home.
You could say it if you want.
So this happened on a Saturday, and that night when everything went down, I had actually ended up going to Cynthia's house, which is our older sister, and I didn't go home until Sunday around like 2 p.m.-ish.
Okay, I'm so sorry to cut you off again, but Cynthia was there when she had made the joke and I got defensive, so she had seen that part. She didn't see when it escalated.
The aftermath. But right after that happened between me and her, I instantly called Cynthia because my mom wasn't there. She doesn't know what's going on. And Cynthia, like, witnessed it all go down in the kitchen. Like, when I made the joke and she flipped out. Or when she, like, felt some type of way about it. So I instantly called Cynthia and I'm like, hey, this just happened. Like,
what the fuck?
What the fuck? And she was like, come over. Like, I think also, too, the number one thing that I cherish, this is just a fucking side note, but me and my sisters all have a strong-ass bond. Like, no matter what, if, like, one of us don't got us, the other one will. Like, it's just been like that since forever. So I knew, like, I don't have anywhere else to go. Like, let me and Aunt go to Cynthia's house. We didn't have our house at the time. Like, we were still living with her. We didn't speak to my dad. My mom was probably fucking sleeping. It was like 12 a.m. So yeah, I ended up going to Cynthia's house that night. And then me and Aunt woke up and we came back at her house at like 2. I was crying like the whole night. I've never experienced that.
I yelled at my sister. Kind of how our dad used to yell at us.
Yeah.
But a little worse because it was more personal and, like, you know, sister shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We've never felt that to the point where we were like, holy fucking shit. We had no idea what to do. I was texting her. I still had so much pride, obviously, that even that night, the next day. And I feel like I was filled with so much anger. And so I really had to sit back and I cried and I cried and I cried with my husband. And I was like...
Because we didn't talk for, like...
Should we turn this on?
No. Cried and you cried
for
days.
Oh, yeah. So I literally, you guys, cried and I cried to my husband. Like, I knew at that point that I had to change. I had to make some, not even some, I had to change my whole fucking life and the way that I spoke to people, the way that I thought about things. Every little thought that you have turns into your words. So once you start thinking negative, once you don't heal or take care of what's in your mind, it will eventually come out. And I got to that point where I knew I had to do inner work because...
So were you thinking about all of this while, like, we weren't talking?
Yeah. Like, on Sunday, when you were, like, not even home, I was still filled with...
Oh, and she changed the passcode to the house. So when I got home, I was like... I started crying instantly again. And I'm like, babe, like... Because, okay, like, when you live a life like me and Nat have lived, like, from house to house to house to house, family member to family member, it was like I felt hopeless at that point where, like, she was my last...
Okay, but you know what? Before... I understand what you're saying, but before anything... I was messaging her. She wasn't responding. Completely understand why. I wouldn't fucking respond to me
But
either.
you thought I was already, like,
I
out.
thought they were moving out because... Because Aunt had messaged Eli and was like, oh, yeah, like, I think we're moving out. So I was like, okay, if they're going to move out, like...
Oh, because since I wasn't responding to her, Eli had messaged Aunt and, like...
Was like, hey, are you guys
sent
good?
him, like, his own thing, yeah. And he was like, yeah, like, because I was telling Aunt, like, how I was feeling throughout all this whole thing. And obviously he witnessed it all. So he was like, yeah, babe, I think it's best if we just... At the end of the day, we have to figure something out. And so she was under the impression that I was just leaving and that I was moving out, but obviously, like,
and you had hella bags that you guys were taking
No,
out.
that wasn't even at that point.
Sis, it was that day,
it wasn't.
Monday. It was Monday.
No, sis, when I came home that night, Sunday morning from Sis's house, it was already changed. We couldn't get in.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
And then you texted Aunt the code, like...
It's because you guys were outside, like, hella early, and I was like, oh, they're here.
Yeah, so she had ended up
I'm not going to be shitty, even though I was already hella shitty, like...
She had texted Aunt the code, and so we end up going in the house, but, like, I'm already in the mindset where, like, I don't even want to be there, like, I don't want to be around that. So, like, I told Aunt, I'm like, okay, we can either go back to my mom. I was already talking to her about it. I was like, we can go back to my mom's house and figure it out, or we can just find a place to stay, like go rent something, which me and Aunt have never wanted to go rent somewhere because that was never in our plan. But obviously you do what you gotta do. Like, that was just that. So she was seeing me take bags. Like, I was like, okay, well, I have too much shit at my sister's house. So, like, I need to get rid of it. So wherever we go, it's an easy move.
Those bags were for donation, you guys, and I had no idea.
Oh, it's probably a different fucking angle.
Her camera died, so she changed the battery pack, but we turned on the light just because it's getting dark.
Leaving off of where we were talking about. So I was in the mindset, like, I had too much stuff, so I was like, I need to declutter. So I was packing all these, like, white trash bags full of clothes to, like, take them to Plato's Closet. First time I've ever done that in my whole entire life, but I was like, I need... one, money to fucking leave, and two, like, I just needed to make it easy for us if we were gonna move, you know?
And me knowing that she's never done that, I legit thought she was moving out.
Yeah, because we were, like, just taking bags, and, like, obviously we weren't talking. Huh? So on Monday, I had took bags to Plato's Closet. That was the first day, and she's seen the bags, didn't say anything, didn't text, didn't nothing. I think she had texted me while we were, like, at Plato's Closet, was like, hey, if you're moving out, let me know. Didn't reply. And then on Tuesday, the kids were home, and it was, like, a second round to Plato's Closet. So me and Aunt were taking more stuff. And Evan asked me, he was like, yeah, like, are you moving out already? Like, what are these clothes? And I was like, oh, no, like, I'm just taking them to donate. So I think that's the point where you realize, like, hey, it wasn't their initial plan to move out.
I was just confused.
These are for donation, yeah, because I wasn't communicating with her at the time, so, like, all she could do was jump to conclusions on, like, what we were gonna do, you know?
Yeah, and in my mind, you guys, I literally still had, like, a shitty-ass mindset, because I was like, well, if they're moving out, like, they need to take all their stuff out by this week. I was telling my husband.
She even had texted us that same Tuesday. She was like, hey, like, I know you haven't responded, but you're taking all these bags, like, she was like, I'll give you, basically, like, give us till Friday. She literally was like, I'll give you guys till Friday, but, like, everything needs to be out type of thing. And that's when, like, I had called my mom.
I feel like that was my way of being like, hello, bitch, are you moving out or not? Because at this point, it was,
but you just didn't know how to communicate back then, which is okay. I didn't,
like, at all. It was, like, 4 days, and I was like, okay, like, there's awkwardness in the house. Like, it was so fucking weird.
Okay, and then we had gotten back that day from Plato's Closet, and after she had texted us while we were out the second time, Aunt was telling me, he was like, I'm going to talk to her right now. Like, I don't even want to talk to her over the phone. I don't want to text her. Like, I'm going to talk to her. And me being me, I was like, oh, fuck. Like, I don't like confrontation. So I was like, okay, you talk to her. I'm gonna like go upstairs vibes. But he was like, no babe, like you need to be there. Obviously it happened between you guys, so like you guys also need to have a conversation, no matter if we're leaving or not. Like this is our family, so like we need to know what's going on. If it's gonna be weird energy, like we need to basically settle everything. So that day we talked to her, and I think that was the moment where you realize like change or like not have these people in your life type of thing.
Yeah, I literally had to change my whole entire life to keep these like beautiful souls in my life, because
you were carrying on those traits from your past relationships and past trauma that you didn't know that were unhealed.
And not only did I not want to be that person, like I wanted so much, like I didn't want anything else but to be a better person. Like for so long I was always like, yeah, I want to be this way, like I'm this and I'm that, but you're not this and you're not that until you put in the work, until you literally sit down with yourself at rock bottom, or at least in my case I was at rock fucking bottom. And that's when I started my healing journey, and that's when I became a better person. When I felt some type of way, even with my sister, like when I feel some type of way now, we're able to talk about it and like communicate in a healthy way, even if we don't agree.
Yeah, and there has been times where we don't agree with each other, but it's just as simple like, hey, this is how I felt because of this, this, and this. Like, take me into consideration as just as much as you and yours, and communicate in a healthy way, and that's all we need. Like, I feel like at this point, she finally realized that she had to just be better, and realized that she had to dig a little bit deeper to heal more wounds than she realized that were unhealed. So like it just started to like blossom into like this beautiful person that like is a whole different other person. And when she says, if you knew her a year ago, you really do not know her now, and that's the same for me. Like I feel like every day I'm transitioning and I'm changing, and I've had 4 different rebirths. Like it's just a beautiful thing to see her change into a different person, because we just don't allow the same things in our lives that we did before. And I feel like that was the moment where she realized like, I'm being that person that I don't want in my own life type of thing.
Yeah, and that's why I had to literally like fix everything, you guys, like down to my even thoughts. Like as soon as I was thinking something like horrible or just unhealthy, toxic, I would tell my husband like, hey, this is what I'm thinking about. And like not only the reassurance made me feel better, but knowing that I was able to take into accountability like what I was thinking, and I knew it was unhealthy, so like fix it, it's fine, like think more positive. And that's kind of what led me into like the person that I am today, is because every single day I would fight against myself. Like I was literally, it was a battle every day, and I was like, holy shit, when is it gonna get better?
It was like you were really like, I feel like you were very like not healed and unhappy within yourself and your thoughts, that you were like projecting that onto other people.
Yeah, and once I finally started to realize like, hey, I'm the problem. Like, yes, you're gonna feel sad. Yes, you're gonna feel emotions, because you're human. Like, we're not perfect. But if you don't know how to manage your feelings, if you don't know how to manage your life, then that can easily fuck up your life. And that was kind of like the route that I was going to. And not only did I want to do it for like myself and the people around me, but I also have 5 kids. I just gave birth to my beautiful daughter that is literally 11 months old now. And I'm just so happy to say that I'm breaking generational curses. Me and my sister are breaking the whole cycle that we grew up in, not only with our dad, but his whole family, and not only with my mom, but her whole family. And I'm just so thankful to be able to experience this and have like my sisters in my life and my mom, and especially my husband, because holy fucking shit, he's been with me literally through like some hard ass times. But it's just crazy, and I'm really happy. I was telling my sister I'm very proud of myself, and I give myself that credit now, because before I never was able to do that, like at all.
And with that being said, I do feel like if you are going through hard times and you don't feel healed, and you wake up and you're unhappy and you look at yourself in the mirror and you hate what's looking back at you, you have all the control in your hands. It lies in your hands. And I feel like the most important thing is working on it deeper within yourself, rather than projecting that hatred and that unhappiness on other people.
That's why the world is filled with so much hate, because people are so unhappy and they don't do the work to heal themselves.
And that whole like that whole like family talk and everything could be a whole nother video, just because it's more deeper than just like, oh, we don't allow that shit in our lives, like peace out. No, it's not about that. Like it takes a strong fucking person to do the shit that we did. And I'm gonna toot my own fucking horn because it deserves to be tooted from the back. No, I'm just kidding. But like, I feel like giving yourself that recognition and be proud of yourself, the fact that you're making all of this progress and self-work within yourself, within your mind, your fucking your mind, body, soul, your whole life entirely. Like, do the self-work and I promise you your life will just go up. I don't have a worry in my mind that all the life that I want, it's already mine. Like, I just have to work for it. And there's gonna be hard times. You're gonna have rough patches. You're gonna have rough patches. You're gonna not want to wake up some days, but get the fuck up, do it, and
you always have to put yourself in check, you guys. Like, no matter what it is, whether you have no motivation or you have negative thoughts, whatever it is, put yourself in check. And I promise you, every single time you do that, even if nobody's looking, and even if you think, you know, oh my God, I'm doing all this work by myself. I put in so much work by myself.
You can like want it for yourself as much as like the next person, but until it finds you, until you actually like do the self-work and you know what you have to heal, no matter if it's childhood trauma, no matter if it's relationship trauma, no matter what it is in your whole entire life, you have to find that. And some people put in the work, you guys. Yes, put in the work just to be a better person. This whole world, we all freaking know, is fucked up as it is. So be that happiness in someone's life. Why are you gonna wake up? Are you gonna wake up and just be an unhappy person and bring negativity into this world? Wake up and fuel your body, fuel your soul, and look at yourself in the mirror and love yourself. Say your affirmations, manifest your life. Everything that I have going on right now, I've manifested. Like, and I'm gonna go down to my relationship, like the man that I'm with, the house that I'm living in, like everything that I have right now, I've said into the universe that it's already mine. Just flow to me.
Period. I do want to mention again that I'm just super thankful for the people around me, because not only have they been sticking like with me through this whole journey, but they also give me like, you know, credit. And you don't ever need credit or
but
somebody
it feels
to show
good
you
when you have done a lot of self-work to know that the other people that you love around you, you're not only doing it for yourself, but at the end of the day, you are doing it for the people that you love.
Yeah, and
so when they recognize that, it's like awesome.
Yeah, and I know every day, like, I just feel so much better. I feel happier. Do I have hard days? Fuck yeah. I have 5 children, a home, and a whole ass husband to take care of, and she has her whole shitload of responsibility to take care of. But when you wake up in a negative mindset every day, your life is going to be negative. And that's why I try so hard every single day. Although some days are harder than others, like, I've been putting in so much work, and I'm just so proud of myself, and I'm so proud of you, and to like the woman that we're becoming, because holy shit, like,
and we're awesome.
We're fucking great, bro. Like, the best. I didn't think that we were gonna talk about just that topic for the whole like video, but we have so much more to like discuss.
But I do feel like we are real and raw in our real lives, and like now we are putting everything out there. So like,
I feel like we're only putting it out there because we hold ourselves accountable, and we've done the healing, we've done the work. So that's why we're able to express everything we've gone through without feeling a certain type of way.
Yeah, because if we were to talk about it before, like when she was like it just wouldn't be, it would be a whole different conversation. Yeah, like the way that like our mindsets are now, and like everything's just like changed and blossomed, like we really just know. And when you know, you fucking know. And that's all I'm gonna say, because when you're in a different whole like other mindset, like some other people, it's just like a block. Like you're like speaking to like a wall.
Period. And you can't get through them as much as you want to.
Go! Don't! No.
Go.
No, you go. No. I forgot what I was gonna say.
Me too.
Shut the fuck up.
Like I mentioned before, I always say that. Like I mentioned before, bitch, shut the fuck up. I already know you mentioned it. This whole episode was kind of just talking a little bit about how we are, where we're at today, and like why we're so close, and just the relationship that we have.
But to show that everything has not always been like this.
Exactly.
Like you guys see in the vlogs, us being goofy, us being happy, and us having a good time. But it has not always been this easy and this like easy to get along.
Yeah, because obviously we had to put in the work, but like I said, I'm just so thankful to be in a position where we're at right now, and we're able to vocalize how we feel and just have a healthy relationship, and it just makes me really happy. So I'm really excited to like take on this new journey. We did want to throw this out there on the first episode only because we're going to be getting real raw and juicy and crazy for the rest of the episodes. We are going to be coming out with a video every single week, you guys, so stay tuned for that. Her channel is real juicy, real good. Make sure you guys subscribe to her. It's under Stephanie Solis, and I'll put the link in my description box.
And don't forget to subscribe if you're watching. This is the channel you want to subscribe to as well. She has amazing vlogs, amazing fucking content, so don't forget to subscribe to her as well.
But we're just gonna keep going up from here, you guys. We're not stopping. We are really hungry and just so excited, so motivated. This is definitely something that we love to do, and the fact that we're doing it together makes it like 10 times better.
Yeah.
But I'm just so happy. I really appreciate you guys showing us so much love. There are some people that show both of us love, and it's like continuous, and we see you guys.
We see you guys, and we know you guys by name, and we always talk about you guys because we're just so grateful the amount of like love that we get, and we're just right so now we feel really blessed. And yes, we're not the biggest, but we will get there,
period.
Mark my words. But if you guys do have any recommendations of what you guys want to hear us talk about, any topics that are going on in this world, this is an open book. We are real and raw here on her channel, on my channel. If you guys want to hear us talk about absolutely anything or any juicy story times, just leave them down in her comments and we will be sure to look at those.
Well, leave them down in my comments, but also don't forget, you guys, next week's episode is going to be on her channel, so make sure you guys subscribe and turn your post notifications on just so you guys don't forget any videos. This is going to be real raw and real crazy, girl. We are going to be talking about not just this type of stuff, but everything, so be prepared.
Next week we'll probably won't be in the car. It's just real, how do you say that, like it's very authentic.
Yeah.
Like we're just gonna put up the camera and just talk. It's not no studio setup, no nothing, but you guys are gonna get the vibes and the cool stuff
every time. Yeah, my mom came over to watch Baby Girl for us, well, for me, while we record.
It's basically for us.
Yeah, we're working together, but my mom came over to watch Baby Girls. We are drinking, but we're in the car and we're just here parked, and we're about to go inside, so we're not driving.
And go.
Yeah, we're not driving anywhere. We didn't drive anywhere drunk. We literally came in, had a couple drinks, and we're about to go inside. But that's gonna be it of today's episode, you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. We really do appreciate you guys so freaking much.
Like she said, don't forget to turn on your post notifications, and we will catch you guys on the next Girl Talk. Bye.
That was so good.
Come on, your hands rolling. Oh my god, let's go. I gotta fuck a pee. I loved it and I feel so awesome.
Come on.